19-year-old Daniel Santulli can no longer walk, talk, or see after going into cardiac arrest and suffering brain damage following a night of alleged alcohol-induced hazing at the University of Missouri, where he was pledging a fraternity. In a moment, the Santulli family attorney, David Bianchi. But first to Fox News correspondent Garrett Tenney, who has surveillance video from the night of the incident. Hi, Garrett.
Martha, this video is hard to watch as you see Danny get progressively worse throughout the night. The video, which was given to ABC News by the family's attorney, is from inside the Phi Gamma Delta or Fiji fraternity house back in October. It shows Danny and other pledges shirtless and blindfolded being led downstairs as part of a ritual where they were each given a full bottle of vodka that they were expected to finish. The family's attorney says after several hours of heavy drinking, including a fraternity member putting a tube in Danny's mouth and pouring beer down his throat, you can see the 18-year-old freshman lose his balance and fall backwards. He gets carried to and dumped on a couch where another fraternity member eventually finds him unresponsive and leaves him there for another 15 minutes. When several of his frat brothers eventually do take him to the hospital, it's too late. He is in cardiac arrest, his blood alcohol level more than 5 times the legal driving limit, and he has already suffered severe brain damage. This case is now a criminal investigation, but so far only one fraternity member has been charged with misdemeanors. Danny's parents say that's not enough.
I do personally want to see specific kids get felony Ds. That's going to wake them up. A misdemeanor is not going to wake them up.
The University of Missouri says 13 students have received proposed disciplinary sanctions after an investigation which also found multiple violations of the school's standard of conduct by the Fiji fraternity. Those sanctions could lead to suspension or expulsion, but it's not clear if that's happened, since the school says it is prevented by law from sharing details about disciplinary actions. Danny's sister, who's also a student at Mizzou, is not satisfied.
It makes me sick to my stomach seeing the people involved that harmed Danny walking around campus acting like they did nothing wrong.
The university banned Fiji from campus and is now reviewing how to mitigate unsafe behaviors like hazing, and says safety of the Mizzou community is our highest priority, and we must address alcohol use and other concerns in holistic ways to provide education and services that work together to support safer behavior. The fraternity's international body tells us it prohibits hazing and giving alcohol to minors, and adds Danny should not have been put in such a situation. We support anyone being held accountable for their conduct and the consequences that may result. For Danny, though, the consequences of that night are already clear, and his life will likely never be the same. Martha.
Garrett, thank you for that report. My next guest represents the Santulli family. David Bianchi is a trial lawyer who has obtained the largest fraternity hazing verdict in the country, winning tens of millions of dollars for hazing victims and their families. David, I would imagine that you would prefer never to have to take another one of these cases again. And you're calling this the worst injury, hazing injury, in the history of the country.
It is. It's undoubtedly the worst. You cannot have injuries that are worse and still be alive. Danny can't see, he can't walk, he can't talk, he cannot care for himself, and his condition is permanent. It's just awful.
So you hear his dad talk about the fact that these individuals got misdemeanors. He believes they should have felonies. What is the legal path that you're pursuing at this point? And is that possible that that could happen?
Well, Martha, let's be clear. It's not individuals, plural. Only one person has been charged with a misdemeanor. That's it. Not a single fraternity member has ever been charged with a hazing violation by the prosecutor. Missouri has an anti-hazing statute. It's pretty good, but you have to actually file the charges to enforce the law. The question is, why is the Boone County Prosecutor's Office not enforcing the hazing law? This is a slam dunk hazing case. They should all go to jail. A kid could prove up this case, but they won't file the charges. If they would file the charges, a jury would convict these guys in 5 minutes. What kind of a message does it send when you say we're not going to enforce the hazing law?
You know, I'm looking at these videos, and it's, as a parent of two boys, one in college, one recent college, it just churns my stomach to see what is happening here. And I think any parent who has a child who is going through this fraternity hazing process just basically holds their breath for the entire week that it's going on. So how many more Dannys is it going to take before universities are going to take responsibility and ban these practices and have serious consequences for anyone who engages in them?
Well, for the average person, what you say makes total common sense, but it's never going to happen. There have been 65 fraternity pledges killed since the year 2000 as a result of hazing. 65. And just 13 days before this chapter did this to Danny, they were sanctioned by the university for previous alcohol and hazing violations, and the sanctions were to extend into 2022. They thumbed their nose at the sanctions, and they immediately went to work planning this. The universities will never shut down the fraternities because they get too much money from the fraternity alumni. So that's a pipe dream. There's got to be a better way, and I think the way to do it is, when these things happen, you immediately expel every officer of every chapter, no questions asked, and the prosecutors have to immediately file criminal charges, and only some of them have the courage to do it.
Yeah. It's so awful. And I read reports that his sister said that he had called her during the hazing week, upset, but he didn't want to be a quitter in this process. So I would encourage all of these donors to these fraternities that, you better wake up and understand what's going on here. And you got to live with yourself that these incidents, 65 people have lost their lives in these incidents since 2000. It is absolutely appalling. David, thank you. Thank you very much for being here. I wish we didn't have to do this segment at all.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.